Hello, and welcome to the seventh part of the Deep Rising Introductory Training series. I'm going to take a little detour in this episode, so to help bring everything together. What I'm going to do is run through this scene that you can see here. It's pretty much going to be a commentary. You're going to watch me build the scene from the beginning and to the end, which is actually a meshing part. And what you're going to learn here is just a basic workflow of actually constructing a deep rising scene from the beginning to the end, or to the meshing stage. Okay, let's get started. Okay, I'm gonna start with the empty scene. The only things that are present are an emitter and a fluid cache. Then I'm gonna load the object for the scene. Okay, this is the object. It's a pipe object. And if you want to follow this tutorial along, I've put a link to this on the YouTube description page for this tutorial. Okay, the tube is obviously empty. You can use whichever package you want and import it. I'm just changing the surface to make it visible. Then I'm just going to position it to get the exact angle I want. So I'm just planning my final shot here. So when I render everything, I just want everything to be aligned. So I like this angle here. I'm just going to scale down the object to fit my preference. Of course, don't forget when you're voxelizing the object, size matters. So that the bigger the bigger the width, height, and depth, the more collision particles you're going to have, or the higher the voxelization, shall I say. Okay, then I'm just going to position the emitter. I'm going to try to get it perfectly to go into the pipe. So 1 second, I'm just going to change views. So this part can be a bit tedious, but it's important to get right if you want the particles to go down the tube accurately. Okay, now I'm just going to lower the radius of the emitter so it actually fits in the tube. So there we go. This is my first attempt. I'm just positioning, trying to get the right fit. Of course, I won't know if the particles are going in exactly. I'm just trying to estimate where it's going to go. And then I will have to simulate to actually see what's happening. And I'll do that in a moment, once I think I've got the right position. Okay, I'm just doing a quick simulation. There's no rigid objects at the moment. I just want to see the path the particles are taking, so I know if they're going to collide once they come out the emitter or not. So it looks okay, but I'll have to have a better look. 1 second. I don't think that's perfect, so I'm going to continue editing until I got something better. Okay, next I'm just going to add the rigid object to the scene so I can continue adjusting the emitter. Okay, I'm just simulating now to see what happens to the particles as they come out. As you see, they're colliding. So the lighter the particles are, the faster they're moving. So once they start turning blue, they start slowing down. But some particles are rushing out, are coming out of the pipe, and we don't want that. So yeah, I'm just gonna go to a bounding box view so we can see what's happening inside. So yeah, there's a nice transition at the beginning, but particles uh, are getting pushed out, so we don't want that. So I think, let's see, I'll continue adjusting this. Just slow down the strength and see what that looks like. Okay, I'm still seeing some errors here. I'm gonna stop here. Okay, and then I'm just gonna scale down the emitter again. I think it's colliding with the geometry. I'll simulate again. Okay, we've got something that looks better, but some particles are still coming out. Okay, after some more adjusting, I think I got something that I like. So this is starting to look better. Okay, so I'll just drop the strength again, or I mean adjust it, and just see what it looks like. I think it looks better now after much more tweaking. Okay, it's looking much better. So I think we're gonna bake that out. We'll go with this probably. Yeah, because it looks much better. It looks like the particles are going in the direction we want them to go. Okay, just a slight adjustment. So we don't run out of particles. I'm going to increase the particles so we don't run out of particles while the simulation runs. I'll just switch off the UV randomness because we don't need noise. Then I'm going to just set up the cache so it caches to disk. So I'm just setting the amount of frames we need. So save to file, then I'm going to choose the directory. So this is the workflow to save a cache to disk. It's the same pretty much every time we do it. So I just create a new directory, give it an appropriate name. Okay, just make sure it's going to the right place. Okay, And then I'm just gonna choose BGO. BGO is the best format you can use. I like it because it actually you can use it in other applications pretty easily. Okay, and we can stimulate. And I'll pause here and I'll resume when the simulation is done. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to load the final. So the simulation's finished, but I stopped it originally and I made a few more adjustments. There was a few errors. Some particles were jumping out, but I finally got the perfect angle and adjustments for the emitter. Okay, and this is what it looks like after everything is done. Everything looks perfect now. The particles go smoothly down the pipe. And come out at the other side as they accumulate. Then they should start dripping out slowly. Nice. Okay, that's what it looks like. If you just scrub, you can see the particles coming out of the pipe at the end. I'll just save that out. I think we're going to mesh. We're going to do the meshing now. So after we've simulated everything, we can go into the meshing stage. So there, let me just hide the pipe object. Oh, and as if you've noticed, when simulating, I didn't touch any of the solver functionality. These are the default settings of the solver. I haven't changed anything. The only thing I actually changed was the time step. So it's using 12 sub-steps. I didn't show that before. Besides the sub-steps, increasing the speed of the simulation, everything else is on the default settings. Okay, I'm just going to open the meshing panel. Okay, I'm just going to mesh it with the default settings first. Okay, that's what it looks like with the default particle meshing with no filters applied, and it's already looking a little bit like water. So if we scrub and preview again, we get that, and we can preview again the next step. So this is the workflow you would use to style your fluids, just to get to get an idea of how they're looking. But of course, to get the smooth effect, we'll need to add filters. For now, I'm not going to explain the settings here, so you can just follow along. So it's actually just a good idea to set the narrow band normally to 3 for everything you do. I'm going to add some smoothing. There's different smoothing types. I'll use this one, and I'll just set the iterations to 2 and just preview that, and then it's smoother. So that just smooths out the bumps. I'm not going to do anything complicated. I think I'm just going to use one filter and smooth it out. Of course, you can take this further. Let's just look at it towards the end, if it looks okay. Sorry, cancel that. Preview. Okay, and then how it looks like. So I'm just trying to confirm something here. Okay, it's not important. Okay. I'm just testing the cache. Okay. Okay, we can continue meshing. Okay. Okay, yeah, that looks good, I think. And I won't add any more filters. I'll save filters for another lesson, in depth. A look at filters. So I'm just gonna bake this out. If I'm gonna generate the mesh sequence that's gonna be used later. I'm not gonna show this later. There'll be a video dedicated to the mesh sequencing. There's two mesh sequences actually, so I will talk about those in a separate video. So now I'm just gonna bake out this to a sequence. Then later, as you saw in the clip I showed you at the beginning, I'm gonna render that out, and that's the final result you saw. I think that's all for this lesson. So thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll have more for you guys soon. And yeah, see you next time. Bye bye.